Welcome back to Craft and Quill, where we dive into the world of literature and explore the stories that shaped our culture. Today's book is none other than 1984 by George Orwell, a dystopian novel that has remained highly relevant since its publication in 1949. 1984 is a cautionary tale about the dangers of totalitarianism, extreme surveillance, and the manipulation of truth. Orwell's vision of a society controlled by propaganda and constant observation resonates even more today in the age of the internet and social media. We'll break down the novel's plot, analyze its key characters, explore its main themes, and discuss why it continues to hold such a powerful place in modern culture. 1984 is set in Oceania, one of three superstates that dominate the world. The party, led by the omnipresent figure of Big Brother, rules with absolute power. The story centers on Winston Smith, a 39-year-old man who works at the Ministry of Truth, where his job is to alter historical records to fit the party's ever-changing narrative. Winston despises the party's control over every aspect of life, especially its manipulation of truth and the suppression of free thought. Winston's first act of rebellion is to begin writing in a secret journal, a dangerous move since even thinking against the party is considered thought crime. He soon begins a forbidden love affair with Julia, a colleague who shares his disillusionment with the party. Together, they seek a small escape from the party's constant surveillance. They rent a room above a shop in a proletarian neighborhood, believing it to be free from the eyes of Big Brother. As Winston's rebellion deepens, he becomes obsessed with O'Brien, a high-ranking party member who he believes is part of a secret resistance movement called the Brotherhood. Winston is eventually arrested by the Thought Police, betrayed by the shopkeeper who was secretly working for the party all along. He is taken to the Ministry of Love, where O'Brien reveals himself as loyal to the party. Winston is tortured and brainwashed until he completely submits to the party's ideology. By the end of the novel, Winston is a broken man, and in the chilling final line, he acknowledges that he loves Big Brother. Orwell's 1984 explores several powerful themes that continue to be relevant in today's society. Totalitarianism and control. At its core, 1984 is a terrifying depiction of a totalitarian state that seeks to control not only the actions but also the thoughts of its citizens. The party's motto, "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength," encapsulates the contradictions that it imposes on reality to maintain absolute power. The Ministry of Truth rewrites history, the Ministry of Love tortures dissidents, and the Thought Police ensure that no one even thinks about rebelling. Surveillance and privacy. In Orwell's dystopia, privacy is non-existent. The party uses technological surveillance, including hidden microphones and cameras, to monitor citizens at all times. The constant fear of being watched and reported makes it impossible for people to trust each other or form genuine relationships. This theme resonates deeply in today's world, where concerns about mass surveillance and data privacy are ever present in discussions about government and corporate power. Language and thought. One of Orwell's most brilliant concepts is the idea of newspeak, a language designed by the party to eliminate any possibility of rebellious thoughts. By limiting the range of expression, the party controls not just what people can say, but what they can think. The famous line, "Who controls the past controls the future, who controls the present controls the past," illustrates how controlling language and history is central to maintaining power. The loss of individuality. In 1984, the party seeks to eliminate individuality and personal freedom. Winston's ultimate defeat is not just physical but also psychological. His submission to the party's control represents the loss of his identity. The novel portrays a world where the state destroys the individual's capacity to think freely, love deeply, or even hold on to their own memories and beliefs. Now, let's take a closer look at the key characters who bring Orwell's nightmarish world to life. Winston Smith. Winston is the novel's tragic protagonist, a man who dares to rebel against the party's totalitarian control. He is not a traditional hero. Winston is frail, conflicted, and full of doubt. Yet, his desire for truth and freedom makes him relatable. Winston's downfall. when he is broken by torture and comes to love Big Brother, is a poignant reminder of the power of oppressive regimes to crush the human spirit. Julia. Julia represents a different form of rebellion. She is more interested in personal freedom and pleasure than in challenging the party's ideology. While Winston seeks to understand the philosophical underpinnings of the party's power, Julia is content with small, private acts of defiance. Her character highlights the limits of rebellion in a society where even intimate relationships are controlled by the state. O'Brien. O'Brien is one of the novel's most complex characters. Initially, Winston sees him as a potential ally, someone who might be part of the resistance. However, O'Brien reveals himself to be an agent of the party, committed to maintaining its control at any cost. His calm, intellectual demeanor makes his role as a torturer even more chilling. O'Brien represents the party's power to manipulate and destroy those who oppose it. Some scenes and quotes from 1984 have become iconic, representing the novel's deep critique of totalitarianism. Winston's journal. Winston's first act of rebellion, writing in his secret journal, is a small but powerful moment. His words, "Down with Big Brother," signify his resistance, even though he knows that the thought police will eventually catch him. Room 101. One of the most chilling moments in the book takes place in Room 101, where Winston faces his greatest fear, rats. Here, the party forces him to betray his deepest loyalties, including his love for Julia. Room 101 symbolizes the party's ultimate weapon, the ability to break anyone's spirit. The final submission. The novel's closing line, "He loved Big Brother," encapsulates Winston's complete transformation. After being tortured and brainwashed, Winston no longer resists the party, he embraces it. This line is a chilling reminder of the extent to which totalitarian regimes can rewrite not just history but the minds of individuals. Orwell's 1984 has had an enormous impact on literature, politics, and popular culture. 1984 introduced concepts like Big Brother, doublethink, and newspeak into everyday language. These terms are often used to describe government surveillance, manipulation of truth, and the dangers of propaganda in real-world politics. The book has also inspired numerous films, TV shows, and other works of fiction that explore similar themes of dystopia and control. In the age of the internet, many people see 1984 as a warning about the dangers of mass surveillance and the erosion of privacy. The rise of data collection, government monitoring, and corporate control over information has brought Orwell's vision closer to reality than ever before. Discussions about the balance between security and freedom often invoke 1984 as a touchstone for understanding the risks of unchecked authority. In conclusion, George Orwell's 1984 remains one of the most powerful and relevant books ever written. Its themes of totalitarianism, surveillance, and the manipulation of truth resonate more strongly today than ever before. Orwell's vision serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of protecting individual freedom. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of literature's most important works. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Craft and Quill for more deep dives into classic literature and culture. Until next time, keep questioning the world around you.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase